Hi everybody, Tim from LogiSense here to talk today a little bit about developers and integration into LogiSense Billing. So one of the things that we've done with the platform is we build everything in an API first model. So everything inside of the software platform is accessible via API, and we use that exact same API from our administration interface to be able to do all the different things we do inside of the billing system. So let's jump into the software and take a look at some of the different tooling that we have available. Now, down our left-hand side here, you'll see at the very bottom, we've got a developer section, and we're going to jump into this area here that's the server. Now we can see all of the different objects that are available inside of the system, from accounts, from anything that we're looking at, packages, billing, anything that's accessible in the system will have a RESTful API on top of it. Now what we've built inside of the software is a way for you to be able to run and test these different APIs. You can see what your request response is, any of the headers that are going down. You can specify and edit those headers yourself to be able to construct your different APIs in the system. It's a really nice learning tool for being able to walk through those different APIs and understand how I'm going to integrate and see the end result with those. Same thing goes for being able to access our logs area of the software. This is logging every single API access that's coming into the system, being able to see what was the request, what was the response, what's our payload, being able to bring those back. Everything from an API perspective is token-based access. There's different rules based off of who can access what from an API perspective, and everything is logged in the system, seeing who it came from and what was done there. So these logs also are a great way to be able to take a look at the payload that's happening inside the application or any API calls that you have made to be able to see them come into the system. So there's multiple different ways to be able to try things on the system. One is through that interface, but one of the things that we've added as well from a developer's perspective is what we call data flows. Now, one of the big challenges of being able to do an integration from a platform and from one platform into another is if I'm using API calls, they're usually fairly granular. So to give an example, let's say I was adding an order into the system that might have an account information, contact information, the products that I'm adding to that order, any special pricing that I'm using. So there could be multiple different API calls. Now in a traditional system, this can be a little bit challenging because what if I had 10 different API calls that I was doing to add that new order, and on the 5th API call, validation failed? How do I roll that back? I'm actually kind of stuck halfway through when I'm using an API in that manner. Now, data flows inside of LogiSense Billing, we've allowed you to be able to package multiple different API calls together with variables that can be passed from API call to API call to essentially package everything into a transaction. So we call them envelopes. This allows you to call multiple different API calls in a single transactional context. If anything fails along the way, everything will be rolled back. If it all succeeds, everything is committed into the actual system. So this gives you a lot of granular control on how you want to put things together, almost like you're doing SQL transactions into the system. So that gives you kind of an idea of both data flows and the API access to the underlying system. And we've also documented all of this onto our website. So if you go to the Learn section, you'll be able to go through all of our different developer articles on getting started, how to use tokens, all the different data sources, imports, data flows, full documentation that way, as well as all the different API references for all the different objects from a RESTful perspective in the system to be able to construct your different API calls, what's needed inside of those. So we wanted to be able to really make sure that the APIs were well documented in the system and also the tooling to make it easy. So that's a quick look at developer API access and integration into LogiSense Billing. Thanks a lot for joining, and we hope you stay tuned for other videos in this series.